have a project that's a little different than what I typically get myself involved with. Before I get to the engine though, I want to talk a little bit about the Guilford Station car here. Um, Gentleman, Mike, said that he was interested in a Guilford car, this is what goes with the Guilford Station, where the people go round and round because the platform vibrates, and then you can pull up the passenger car, you can open the doors, and you can hit a button and the floor of this car vibrates, and the people, in theory, go onto the car, close one door, they kind of bunch up inside this car because it's got a channel that basically goes all the way along to the back here and around, and close the door and take them on a ride, bring them back, and if you decide to, if they've been good enough, you can let them come back off again. I have one of these stations and a couple of these cars, and they are really fun when they work. They tend to be a little finicky, but I guess that's part of the fun, the charm. Anyhow, so Mike was asking for one of these cars, so this is one that I am working on for him. I had the inside silhouettes were all from age just twisted and warped, so I flattened those out and reattached them. Next is to do some cleaning on the outside here. I've cleaned the bottom up. I made sure it works and everything. So that was one thing. Another thing that he was asking for is a baggage car. So that also is one that I need to go through and clean. I did check and it does work. Again, these are both used pieces, and they have some play wear on them, but like everything I have, they still work really well. And maybe they're not perfect looking, but I think they're pretty good. But here's the piece that's most interesting. He sent me this and asked me to go through it and service it, and then he'd like this tender, which is a knuckle coupler with pins, no reverse unit, just a weight, to be connected to this painted royal blue. Well, if we look here, we can see evidence of red paint, which, as the story goes, American Flyer made a lot of red painted bullet nose shells for the circus engines, and they didn't sell. So they repainted them blue. So it's actually legitimate to find shells that have blue over red, and sometimes you can see there'll be almost a darker purple. Sometimes if you turn them over, you can see inside that they were one color and not the other. But with this guy, when I turn it over, the inside of the shell is blue. So that makes me think this might have been a custom paint by somebody. Who knows? Oh, okay. And this has got a different Pacific chassis in it because the headlight is part of the chassis. Interesting. Wonder, yeah, I guess we'll see more of that when I take it apart. But so this is a combination piece here. Looks like somebody also opened up the front in case you wanted to put a coupler in there. I've got C&O here, 30 there. So this would have been a chassis system. At least I think that's a C&O. It's not a C&O, I guess it's just two circles. Who knows? I don't. So this will be potentially a C&O American Flyer readings lines. I guess you got your bases covered. But one of the other challenges here is there's no drawbar. And so here's our drawbar with trailing truck, which again needs a lot of cleaning and some straightening. It's a little crooked, kind of like a dog's hind leg. So the question is, what to do in a case like this. I did a little bit of head scratching, and here's the plan. I'm going to take this rivet out here, and then I'm going to put in kind of a traditional tender rivet that's got some insulators and what you find on most tenders. And the reason I'm going to do that is because that'll fit this hole. I thought about trying to drill this hole out big enough to go around this rivet. The problem is the later tender drawbars were wider. So if you see, once I drill this out, there's not going to be any metal left on either side, and it'll just not hold together well. So that's the better plan, is to actually remove this rivet and put a smaller one in. Here we go. We'll see what we can find out on this adventure. Like I said, nothing's quite like you'd expect in this particular project, and that's okay. Makes it interesting, to be sure. All right, so I've got the shell removed, and whatever Pacific this came from. It could have been like a 320 Hudson, possibly. It's pretty early. And I say that because you've got this darker brass color reverse unit. You've got this cover on the front over the gear. So, okay, and the holes are filled in. So this is probably a 1947 chassis. And again, I'm gonna guess it's a Hudson. I guess it could be K5 SIT as well. But yeah, these would have been SITs if they had smoke. Who knows? And it's been in there long enough that you can see it got some paint on it whenever this got painted red, which then it got painted black. So, and somebody also decided to put these pretty nice handrails in, some bling on the custom paint job. But I went ahead and jumpered out the power to this, and here's what we get. We get a reverse unit and nothing else. I put a bulb in here. Not sure what the deal is, what the story is here. We've got one. Oh no, we don't. We've only got. That's why there's no wires going to it. Okay, I didn't see that one was gone. All right, and one of these clips just flies off like that, and the springs don't even want to come out of there. So, oh yeah, well that's probably not helping things at all. Your springs in that kind of shape. Well, yes, sir. This is going to be a fun project. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to tear into this a little more and see what there's to see. Well, lots of fun with this. I am really enjoying this. I love that somebody went to the effort to get this thing together. I'm seeing this evidence abounds of using whatever they had. So we've got what's left of some springs. Look at these brushes. I mean, you got short springs and super short brushes. I mean, no wonder it didn't want to run. And then I noticed this bracket here. Somebody made this themselves. And, well, no, I guess I can't for sure tell what it came from. But we've got a repair because the pin to the front was missing. And they did use the right front truck because on these bullet nose engines, let's see if I can get an example here. Yeah. So your standard front truck looks like this, and here's the way a short stubby front truck should be, or pony truck on a bullet nose, because if they're long like this, they actually get hung up on the front cowling of the engine behind the cow catcher. Now again, this is homemade. Somebody put this together, cut down a normal one, it looks like, and put some plates on the bottom for weight. And yeah, who knows the story, but this is fascinating. All right, time to get back to it. So the armature here, it's got some miles on it. No surprise and not a problem. But when I went to dress this front plate, there were pretty deep grooves on either side of these 3 plates. So it took some material removal to get that pretty flat, and I can still see there's a little tiny bit of a kind of a downturn at the edge of each plate, but I thought, that's enough material removed. I don't want to make that plate too thin. It's going to have a ton of years left in it like this, and I'm sure that'll be okay. Also found out that some of the iron plates weren't quite concentric, so I cleaned those up for you. But that should help this motor spin much better and more true than it was before. Help this little guy keep running. Here's a quick update for you, Mike. First of all, unfortunately, I found holes in all of your reverse fingers, and I wasn't able to get those to work, so I put new fingers in for you. This headlight assembly, which is still a little bit loose, I was able to tighten down by flattening them out, these brackets behind there. I will add probably some hot glue on either side just to keep it from moving around. The reason it's not super tight is this bracket at the front here has just this one piece coming up. Okay, that's the only support. So when I was hammering down, I was very conscious of not wanting to hit very hard and snap this front plate off. At the same time, it was really hard to find a way to put any support underneath this thing because you've got this bracket right in the middle. So I did the best I could without damaging anything. So that's the story there. The armature was in, well, I told you about that already. I found the wiring in this poor guy to be all sorts of upside down and backwards. Um, I don't know. I don't know how it ran. Maybe it did. I don't know. But yeah, I've redone pretty much all the wiring in terms of not necessarily replacing wires. A few of those up here, but putting them in the right place to get it to operate. And also, one of the, I would call it a downside of these early shells or chassis is this cap here allows there to be oil and grease and gunk shoved up in there and is a little hard to scrape out. So oftentimes I'll use my ultrasonic cleaner on these because there's no other way to get to it. However, I found that this grease was still somewhat pliable. So I scraped it out, and as you can see, that's a lot. That's a lot of grease for the small amount of space there is on either side of the main drive gear in there. But here we go. I don't know how well this comes through the microphone, but this is a happy motor. What do I mean by happy motor? It winds all the way out. It does run a little faster forward than reverse, but I don't think anyone's going to be too concerned because it runs plenty fast. And when you get a motor that winds out, you can hear it. It makes a sound, a whine, basically. And I've only run this a couple times. I think as the brushes seat a little better, it's probably going to speed up just a little bit more yet. So yes, this will be one of those engines that you will not be able to crack the throttle very far on, or it will fly right off the rails. It will be so fast. But if an engine is truly happy free rolling, then you'll hear it kind of whine. It just spins, spools up, if you will. The other thing that's really remarkable to me about this is these axles are not sloppy. What a testimony to A.C. Gilbert and his engineers to have something from 1947. Obviously, this has got some miles on it, and yet it doesn't act like it. Just so impressive, so impressive. So well done, AC, and well done, Mike. You're going to have a great engine here, and I will continue to press on. As I debated on how to go about wiring up your engine and tender, I looked at different options and decided to kind of go with the flow. You've got a custom piece here, and so it deserves a custom wiring harness. So what I did is I took two brass nails, basically, and turned them down, and I'm going to go ahead and wire those up and put shrink tubing over them, and then you can push those in here to your tender, and you'll have a way to disconnect. And so anyhow, it was kind of a unique situation and a unique, I think, problem-solving method. Hope you like it. Hey, Mike, I got a update of sorts for you. Some things have not gone as planned. You've got a set of stainless or steel tender pickup wheels, and I want to replace those with brass. And in the course of working on changing out the rivets here and putting the new pieces together, two things happened. One, the side truck came loose, which I didn't realize it was loose. This one's not, but that one, it was. So I'll get my friend JB Weld to help me put you back together. And then here the piece that holds, or the rivet that holds the front truck to the frame was also loose, and that popped through. So I will put a new one there. And there should be a ring around this piece, and that's completely gone. So that's oh, there it is, the retaining ring. You can see, yeah, unfortunately those can fail, and it did. So, oh well, just not going quite as smoothly as I hoped it would, but press onward and upward. Here is your new drawbar. Help if my hand wasn't right in the way. Put traditional rivet and insulators there, even though the insulators are not needed. Also, in addition to that, this side frame fell off while I was working on this truck, because why not? Everything else was happening. So I've reattached that. Of course, lubricated, cleaned. The other thing I did was, you had a set of steel wheels here on the tender, so I replaced those with brass. Steel will work, but the brass tend to be something that's a little more reliable. And just in case I haven't ever said this, this is what you want to use to clean your track. This is a great conductive encourager. It also removes static electricity, which is what leads to all the buildup we flyer folks see on wheels. And so it will change your life when it comes to American Flyer operation. So just a tiny, tiny little amount on a rag, like a drop this size. I mean, really tiny. You can do several sections of rail with that, then go to the next one, and it will just, like I said, it'll make operating American Flyer AC stuff so much more enjoyable, because you won't be spending so much time cleaning stuff. It'll run better, it won't arc, so on and so forth. That's my promo. Okay, I'll bring it back as soon as I get everything finished up here. Here's a few updates for you. I've got everything cleaned up here and ready to roll. And the other thing that I wanted to mention to you is I modified the receptacles inside the tender by adding some brass tubing that's been crimped and soldered, so that these new plugs actually have a little bit of resistance and better contact as they slide in there. So that's something I wanted to show you before I've sealed up the tender. All right, here is your engine. Reverse, forward, and I put a LED headlight in there for you, so that'll stay pretty much as consistently bright no matter what your speed is. But anyhow, time to get this guy on the rail. Well, Mike, as you can see, we've got a very nicely running royal blue that's been painted red and more recently black, customized with a trailing truck and plastic tender with a solid plastic coupler on it and an LED headlight. The reverse unit has got new reverse fingers in it. The motor's been gone through, armature's had some lathe work done to it. The reverse unit on this thing is so nice. I wish I knew the trick to getting all reverse units to work as well as some of these early ones do. My goodness, this thing will trip just with almost no power. It just is amazing. So anyhow, you can see easily handles a Guilford station car and a baggage car, and it'll tear up the rails too. So let's get a few more cars on here to help it earn its keep, and we'll get some pacing shots in for you. Pretty exciting stuff.